Welcome everyone to Programming with Vincent. It's an honor for me. It's a pleasure for me to record this video today. And so, mind you guys, I'm in South Africa. There is load shading. Okay. So in today's video, we are going to learn about a selection sort. We are still exploring an array, guys, on how we can sort the elements in an array. So I have a definition here. So this definition is a definition for the selection sort, right? So the definition is read as follows: the sorting algorithm is an in-place comparison-based algorithm in which the list is divided into two parts: the sorted part at the left end and the sorted part at the right end. So this algorithm has the worst case scenario of big O of n squared. So it's a quadratic it's a quadratic big O complexity. So it has an average case of big O of n squared. So let's not waste any time and explore this definition practically. So I'm going to create a file. I'm going to create a Java class, call it what's me with insertion sort. Okay, let me call it selection. Mind you guys, to create a class in Java, we have to first capitalize the first letter in our class name. So we're going to call it selection sort. So it's a class. So okay, so in this case, I'm going to introduce a new thing. I guess many of you guys are familiar with this static methods, right? The independent methods. So we will see how the static methods work. So it's going to be called public static void selection sort. I'm going to call it selection sort. It takes a parameter called an array. Calls array. And so now, okay, in this case, I'm going to have two double for loops. So let me firstly create the for loop that is going to map the elements, like because remember on our definition it says the sorting algorithm is an in-place comparison-based algorithm in which the list is divided into two parts. So the sorted part at the left end and the sorted part on the left end and unsorted part at the right end. So I didn't notice that, sorry guys. So the unsorted part is on the right hand. So with this outer for loop, I'm only mapping I'm selecting one element, right? One element in the sorted array, and then I'm going to the unsorted array and compare if there is any element that is lesser than it, right? Because any element that is coming before it's sorted, so there's no going back into that. So let's see that. I'm going to start at 0. I has to be less than the array dot length, and then I has to be kept on incremented. So why is this? Okay, let me fix this length array dot y. Oh, okay, I did not specify that this is an array. I just said it's a variable that is allowed to only carry one value, one element. So array dot length. The compiler was complaining because of that. Okay, so now in this case, I'm going to create another for loop for the for the unsorted list. Remember, now we just, for the I equal node, those are the indexes for an array that is sorted. Let's keep that in mind. And then for j, these the index j, these are array in the unsorted part. So we're going to initialize it with I plus 1, and then we have to call j. Also, this condition has j has to be less than the array dot length. J has to be less than the array length. Yes, and then so now we need to increment j. So now in this case, we're gonna need let's do this. I'm going to create a variable here. This variable, I'm going to name it minimum value index. So basically, this minimum value index, it's straightforward. It means now I have to map the element index that we assume to be, at first, like we have to assume that it is the minimum, the smallest value in the entire list. So now in this case, I index I, it is the minimum value index. So we're gonna go and do some comparison here. So we're going to call our array so that we can access the element inside it, and then we're going to use the minimum value index so that we can have that access. So now when we use this minimum value index, it means we have found a value, the smallest element in the list. So now if we say this element is greater than the element, if we find that there is an element, yes, in the unsorted list that is less than our minimum element. So in this case, now we're gonna have to do something. So we're going to have to change the minimum value index. So we're going to take this minimum value index and give it to j, because now this element that we have accessed here is less than the element in our minimum value index. So yeah, so this thing, it's going to carry on and on and on and on until this for loop, this inner for loop, terminates, it finish. And then now we need to do something here. We need to swap elements before this for loop gets because it's already been post incremented. So before it iterates again, so we need to make some swaps. So let's go ahead and create a method that is going to help us. Just like in the previous video where we created the swap method, we're still going to do the same thing, but we're going to make it static in this case. So you're going to call it swap reference int I before, this index for before elements, and then this index for after elements, and then we need to pass in the the array that we are working on. So now we need to create the temp variable to map the element before, so that we're going to replace in this position of element before with element after. And then now for element after, we need to replace it with a temporary variable that we have mapped here. And so now here we just going to call this swap reference. So the index before is going to be I, and then the index after is going to be J, and then not J, sorry, it's not J, but it's minimum value index now in this case. So yes, so now we need to pass in the array that we are working on. So let's go ahead and test our method, guys, if it's working correctly or not, but I doubt there are problems. So mind you, guys, you only want to use this algorithm, the selection sort algorithm, because it's a simple sort algorithm. You only want to use it when you have small data. When you're dealing with large data, you have to rely on other algorithms, but not simple sorting algorithms. But we will see that on our as we continue with these videos. So let's create an array. Yes, let's call it ages, and then we're just going to make it 30, 3, 2. Oh wow, load electricity is back, thank God. All right, so now look, so this data, it's unsorted, -1, just trying to make it so let's at least have about 10 elements. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8. So let's have -2, -10 as well. So let's see. Okay, let's put a comma here. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 elements. So now let's call this selection method. As you guys, I told you that now we can independently call this method without the help of an object. We don't need to instantiate our class in order to have access to these two methods now. So now let's pass in the array ages, and then let's display this thing like this. Okay, so we're firstly going to display and say, okay, this is the unsorted array, and then we're going to have the sorted array, right? So okay, so we're going to pass in, we're going to iterate through this this array, and then we're going to system.println, but not ln, because now it was just going to be printed in line, but we just want it to be printed in one line. So we're just going to print 1 in that way, and then okay, sorry, and then create some space to it. So we're gonna need to have a \n here so that we'll have space. So and then we're going to do the same thing to display those who are the array that is sorted, right? So south.i, and then okay, dot print only, not print line. So plus we need to make some space to it, and then so because now here in this case we say we are displaying the sorted array, we need to call this method here. We need to take this method underneath before we even display. Yes. So now let's run our program and see if what we have coded is really true. As you can see, guys, this is the unsorted array 33. This is the array, this is this array, and then now this is the sorted array. So we have -10, -2. We know -2 is -10 is less than -2, and -2 is less than 1. So 0 is greater than these elements. So now we have 2, 3, 4, 5. We see that, okay, everything is in order. So yeah, everything I have prepared for you guys, I have said it. I haven't left anything. So now on our next videos, I'm thinking of making the last video about sorting an array, and then we're going to explore linked list. We're going to explore other data structures now. So, and also those data structures, like we need to have algorithms in place that we are going to use to sort that the elements in that data structure. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video, and make sure to subscribe for new content. Click a like button. See you on the next video. Cheers.